some of the things that keep us dumb. The media, in particular, the local news, 50% of airtime is wasted on previews of the shallow stories that are coming up next. The lead stories are usually the most disgusting and evil things they can dig up for that day. For instance, anything involving black youth will be a top story. Anything involving black youth and violence will be even on top of the top story. Anything involving black on black crime will be a top story. Anything involving black on white crime will be an even more top story. So you get the idea. They lie about everything. The weather reports are always wrong, except in places like Hawaii. And then they always have a daily health report by a quote specialist, except the people usually give out the wrong advice. And then they always end the report with check with your doctor before following any of these tips. So that should tell you right there that it's questionable and suspect. Gas prices ending with 9 tenths of a cent. I never quite understood this. Although I don't drive, I prefer to be driven. But I do observe things when I'm on the road. And in the early days, gas actually sold for 9.9 cents per gallon. So it wasn't dumb back then, but nowadays it's ridiculous. And the day is coming when gas is going to cost 79.99 cents, and this display will look like this. Okay, this might be a West Coast thing, but it's gotten over here as well. I used to associate it with Valley Girls. Back in the 80s, 90s, we used to mimic the Valley Girls when they would say things like, oh, and I'm like so happy to like be here. And he's like really cute. And, you know, like was like the insert word for whatever you were getting ready to say. And it sounds ridiculous. It did back then, and it still does. Okay, I know a lot of you are big fans of Costco, Walmart, Sam's Club, but I got to say something about especially Costco's. Now, one, you have to buy a membership. What happened, people? Who's dumb enough to pay a store to allow them to shop there? That's number one. Then I heard they don't take food stamps. So there goes, a big piece of your market, Costco, from the people who get food stamps. Why can't they shop with what their money's not good enough? So I just really have an issue with this because it's sort of like an elitist type thing. And I understand you have to buy in bulk and all of that. So, me being single with no children living in my home, I don't see the need to buy in bulk. That's just the only thing I buy in bulk is toilet paper because I'm obsessed with running out of it. But other than that, I don't see stocking up on food or anything. Not at this point. At some point, it will become necessary, people, to stock up as we get closer to Armageddon. But for right now, you can still have just your little, necessary items. But I don't like these Sam's Club, Costco's, and all these places that have turned it into just a real hustle. That's what it is. Okay, yeah, the prices are good. I get it. And you save money. But I understand it's always crowded in these places and that some of the deals are not that great. So bear that in mind when you go to these joints. Okay, so award shows are just an inexpensive way for the networks to bring out the top actors and actresses and performers and get them to appear in a TV show for free by offering them glory, a little gift bag, and some cheap little statues. That's really what it boils down to. Political parties are another hustle. In America, they have two goals: make the other party fail, and two, take money from lobbyists to fund re-election campaigns, and then we re-elect them. That's pretty much what they do. Here's a little history for y'all. The Ford Model T got 24 miles per gallon. So what's our problem? Okay, useless ads. This is another way that they dumb down America. Millions of dollars are spent every day to advertise products that really don't need any advertising. For instance, Tampax. Everybody knows what they've got to do when that time comes. So to advertise them are just useless. This is something that you're taught at home. Before you even get out in public, you're taught about these things. So most people know what Tampax are for. And those ads, they just are making people dumber. Okay, another trend right now, which is also keeping America dumb, is the illusion that certain products, especially candy and dessert products like cake and stuff, are fat-free. To hell they are. I'm fat, and I eat fat-free stuff, and I'm still fat. So don't believe it. Okay, how they were able to pull this off, I don't know. But this is considered politically correct. A restaurant named Sambo's. And then you've got the sexy, and all of these things are stereotypical. You've got the sexy flight attendant. And then you've got my favorite, Aunt Jemima. Another case of political correctness is when they decided that calling homeless people bums were an insult, and so the word was changed to homeless. And I remember as a child hearing an adult say, oh, you better do this, you better do that, or you're going to grow up to be a bum. And now, of course, people don't tell their children, if you don't work, if you use drugs, if you spend all your money and don't pay your bills, you're going to wind up to be a bum. No, they tell them you're going to wind up to be homeless. And, you know, political correctness, I don't even know where that term came from. But we used to say, call a spade, and basically that, you know, that's derived from the card game. But the message and the connotation is the same. I call it like I see it. I was homeless, and I was homeless because of a lot of factors, but one of them actually was because I was a bum. I was a bum. When I didn't pay my rent, I was a bum. When I put my weed habit over my bills, I was a bum. And when I indulged in a lot of stuff that I couldn't afford at a time when I couldn't afford it, I was a bum. So we call it like we see it. Another thing that these politically correct people have changed because they assume that we have a problem with it is that the handicapped are no longer called handicapped, they're called disabled. What's the difference? We still can't do things. I don't mind being called handicapped because I am unable to do the things that I used to do when I was not handicapped. However, it's considered more politically correct to refer to us as disabled. I don't see the difference. This is going to shock some of you, but most of you already know it. Most of that water you're buying, it's tap water. I've been drinking tap water. I put it in my fridge. I've been doing this for years. And guess what? I'm still here. You're wasting your money, folks. Most of that water came from someone's sink. Debit cards, another scam. If you can't control yourself with a credit card, then you definitely can't control yourself with a debit card either. The only difference is that the debit card is only fun while it has money on it. So you can't borrow against the debit card. And that was the whole purpose of creating it, so that these people who don't pay their bills don't have to worry about it. And speaking of dumbing down America, a lot of you can't even spell it. Katie Couric, she's the queen of sympathy journalism. Every interview she does almost has some tears. And this is, what the Illuminati eye of CBS wants us to believe, that they care. Yeah, believe that. Speaking of the networks, Fox used to have a terror alert where they would put up these little graphs to describe, what stage we were in terms of the current threat level. And to the left is the one for grown-ups, and then on the right is, little one for kids. They didn't do the one on the right. That actually is from somewhere else. But the one on the left, that was what they used to do. And they stopped this, thank God, back in 2008. And that was a good move, Fox, because it was dumb. Okay, another very cruel and deceitful dumbing down of us has been since the 60s. We've been pouring our hard-earned money into these charities for the cure for cancer. One, I believe they've had the cure all along. And two, it's a snow job on America because after 40 years, we are still giving these charities money. And these PhDs are still lying, telling us they're thinking up ways to cure cancer when they're really thinking up ways to get us to pay their salaries. So in over 40 years, if they haven't cured cancer, well, what do you think? You think it's coming? Okay, implants, whether it's breast or booty or whatever it is, this is another way that America has been dumbed down, especially you young girls who believe that this is what you need in order to have a successful and wonderful life. Now, I'm not saying that, you shouldn't get it if you want it, but I'm saying shame on you if you're getting it because some guy tells you that you need to get it, and shame on you if you think that you're not attractive without it. Okay, I want to move on from that. The Macy's. Here in New York, we have the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And let's put this in perspective. Every single float is promoting a product, whether it's McDonald's or Mr. Peanut or Lego toys. I think you get the idea. So what is this parade? It's really a 3-hour-long commercial. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. And hear ye, American kids are being dumbing down. I probably said that wrong. I'm getting dumb doing this video. American kids are being dumbed down because of mainly these two things. And yes, I said it. These fast food corporations are making kids unhealthy, and they're luring them in by the droves by giving away toys. What better way to get a kid to beg for something than to offer a free toy? So they manipulate your kids into coming in, eating this garbage, and you get a toy every time you kill yourself. So here, kid, kill yourself. Here's a toy. All right, just some final thoughts. I like quotes, especially when they make sense. Winston Churchill, he had a lot to say, and most of what he said was written down. He said, when you're going through hell, keep going. When you find yourself in a hole, stop digging. That makes a lot of sense. Val Patterson, who is the person that I've gotten most of this material from, he said, genius is inventing your own job, not applying for one. Think about that, folks. And if you're going to be hit by a car, be sure it's an ambulance. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. That's by Albert Einstein. Another one by old Al is the reason for time is so that everything doesn't happen at once. And most of these things are common sense. This one actually sums up the entire video. the biggest cause of trouble in the world today is the stupid people who are so sure about things and the intelligent people who are so full of doubts. And that's by Bertrand Russell. So let's talk about credit cards for a minute. I know I briefly touched on them in the dumbing down, but let's talk about how you can be smart about it. If you get a new card and you charge up to the limit and then you pay the minimum payment for years, okay, that's cool, but that's not really establishing your credit. In the second scenario, you get a new card and then you pay the outstanding balances every month. Congratulations, you are smarter because of credit cards. And if you use them to record where your money was spent, you're even smarter than that. And if you use them in lieu of carrying cash, which is not smart, then you are a genius. So you can use cards wisely. You just have to know how.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.